Today I'm going to talk about our recent work, VASA-Rig, audio-driven 3D facial animation with live mode dynamic. Here is the outline of our presentation. First, I'm going to talk about why we're doing this and how we're doing it. And finally, I'm going to discuss our results and our future work. Okay, let's first look at the motivations. For the VR application, as we can see, when we put on the virtual reality headset, the large portion of our face has been occluded, so that in order to drive in an avatar in the VR, normally we are using audio-driven facial animations. However, the current state-of-art 3D talking head has some limitations. People nowadays can create a very good talking avatar with very precise lip synchronizations. However, there were only a few works with focus on emotion talking face. However, in the meantime, if we're looking at a 2D talking face, this is developed really fast. This is because there was a large 2D video dataset available online. And one of the well-known ones is the VASA models. So we're thinking, how about if we adapt those 2D talking face into 3D talking face so that we can use this to create VR applications? Okay, let's look at some examples. There were some 3D talking head examples such as Emo Talk and Emo Face. They did a very good job to creating talking face with lip synchronizations. However, all of this has in trouble of making continuous emotion changes. And they basically categorize emotion into 7 basic classes. Okay, there was some of our previous work working on emotional talking face as well. And our first generation one is to make a very good lip synchronizations. However, all of these methods, emotion was categorized into 7 basic classes. And let's looking at 2D talking face, some examples such as Wave to Lip and Set Talkers. And also there are some of our works to disentangle the content and the emotions. The most related work to ours is the VASA models, but this one is developed for the 2D talking face. So we're trying to adapt this work into a 3D. So how can we do it? The idea is very straightforward. We drive the meta-human avatar, no matter it's by a professional actor or just by the FaceLive link. We can obtain the meta-human's rig parameters. And if we render that, we can get a corresponding image frame. Or then we can find the relationship between each frame and the corresponding rig parameters. There were some trial and errors. Eventually, we created a 4-hour dataset. We hired a professional actor talking in different basic emotions such as angry, disgust, fear, happy, neutral, sad, and surprise. Then, in order to cover more exaggerated expressions and subtle expressions, also the expression transactions, we use the FaceLive link to record additional animations. Finally, we rendered the animation using 4 different meta-humans to expand the diversities. Okay, once we got the datasets, let's look at our methods. Our methods can be divided into 3 parts. First, audio to latent, which maps the audio feature to the motion latent using transformer model, which is the detail described in the VASA-1 model. Second, that is the key contribution of our paper, the latent to rig part, which is converting the motion latent into 174 meta-human rig parameters. Finally, the last part is the rig to animation, which applies the rig parameters into the meta-human in Unreal Engine, then can be developed into the VR application. For each image frame, we can use the motion encoder to obtain the motion latence. So on the one side, there was the rig parameters. On another side, there was the motion latent. We can train our mapping network, which is the latent to rig network. Once we got the latent to rig models, we can apply this to the 2D talking face method and adapt to the 3D talking avatars. And here one of the examples we obtained from the HDTF dataset.
May is Military Appreciation Month, and as a combat veteran with over 23 years of service between the Army Reserves and Iowa Army National Guard, I would like to take a moment to honor the men and women who wear our nation's uniform now and those who have worn it in the past.
Here's another example, results we obtained from the emotional talking avatars dataset.
Kids are talking by the door.
Kids are talking by the door. Kids are talking by the door.
Dogs are sitting by the door. Kids are talking by the door. Kids are talking by the door.
Kids are talking by the door.
Kids are talking by the door. Kids are talking by the door.
We compared our results with the previous research, such as the EmoFace, EmoTalk, and Audio-to-Face. EmoFace is the previous research developed by the Meta Reality Lab. The EmoTalk is our previous research, which outputting 52 blend shapes. And Audio-to-Face is developed by the NVIDIA, which is a plugin for the MetaHuman. We conducted quantitative and qualitative evaluation to demonstrate our results is outperform the state of arts. And here is our quantitative results. We calculate the distance between the rig parameters, and our results was demonstrated our methods performs better than the state of arts. And we also conducted user study, and the results reveals our methods performs better in terms of the lip synchronization, full face liveness, emotion recognition, eye movement. Our method is particularly used for the 3D telepresence, because our method is based on audio input only rather than the video input. That is particularly used for the VR application. Additionally, our method is generated rig parameters, which is require very low bandwidth and particularly suitable for the real-time application. Secondly, our methods can directly apply for the animation. Our rig-based method is particularly suitable for the industry-level facial animation. And of course, there was some limitation about our work, which leads to our future work. First, emotion dynamics. Because our current method is rely on the audio input only. As we discussed before, that audio only contribute on 30% of the emotion. The large portion of the emotion was inside of the text information or the video information. So our future work aims to integrate the multimodal input, such as integrate audio, visual, and context clue for the dynamic emotion. Secondly, the model adaptabilities. Our current model was basically developed for the meta-human avatars. However, our method can easily adapt to the avatars developed by different artists with different rig structures, using a multi-character adaptation network, for example. Thirdly, the user study constraints. Our current participant was recruited from Shanghai Jiao Tong universities. All of this first language was Chinese, and because of the cultural background, this might be influence their perceive their emotions. And in the future, we plan to recruit participants with a different geographic background. For example, language is English for the generalization. Lastly, our dataset limitations. We plan to capture more personalized expression for the realistic animation. In conclusion, we present a VASA-Rig, which is audio-driven 3D facial animation with a vivid facial expression, natural eye movement, and head movement. This is developed based on the state-of-art VASA model and extends the 2D talking face to a 3D animation. This can be directly applied to the VR application. Secondly, we present a new dataset, which is the 4-hour rig parameter paired with the 2D video for the meta-human animation. This can be used for any 2D videos converted to the 3D rig parameters applications. Thirdly, our latent to rig models, which bridge the gap between the 2D facial animation technique to the 3D application seamlessly. Lastly, our rig-based approach, which provides more detail, natural, lightweighted, and industry-friendly than traditionally mesh-based models. Thank you very much.